back a little bit late, but we getting to you, folks. Had to do it. Big day in the world of sports. So we just have to go as we do. We got to go to all the check-ins just to make sure. We got to go to all the check-ins just to make sure that we're doing what we need to do. All of our check-ins. Um, okay. No. The Twitch is. Where's my stream manager? My stream manager. Okay. All right. So we live on the Twitch. Let me just get. Hold on. I'm looking like Dylan, and Dave Chappelle. Let me get right. Okay, so the Twitch is good. Let's bring that over. You know how we do. We do the technical difficulties first. Is my Facebook? Woo! The Facebook is working with me today. The Facebook is working with me today. Let's come over. Okay. The Facebook Live is okay. We live on the Facebook as well. And let's come to the trifecta though. I gotta come to my channel. View my channel. Okay, we live on the YouTube. The YouTube is live as well. All right, my bro might be jumping in with us, folks. I had to get down with you. I had to get down with you today, SandCity Sports, in terms of what is going on in the world of sports. Let me just see if I can boop. Let me just see if I can let some people know what time it is. If I can let some people know what time it is. In my fantasy sports league, we doing this. Hold on. I know this is not the best production. I apologize. It's not the best production. My bro just hit me up. He's going to be joining shortly. Folks in the fantasy league are talking. I'm talking. I'm just putting them on to the live in case they do. All right, and folks, we're gonna work backwards. You see what's on my chest, folks. You see what's on my chest in terms of my New York Knicks. A lot to say about what happened in the Big Apple, Madison Square Garden. I am not a happy camper right now. I'm not happy. Hook, line, sinker, however you want to. I'm disgruntled. And I checked in with my people, Knicks Fan TV. Shout out to CP the franchise. I don't play or hate. I congratulate. We got a lot of different content creators that are doing dynamic things. I'm here for it all. You understand? And I'm trying to build up. This is my passion project that I'm doing. I'm doing my little thing that I do. This is what I do. You understand? But Knicks Nation, I was ready to wear this, folks. I was ready to wear this on Thursday in Boston. I was ready for the Eastern Conference Finals. My New York Knicks to come to Beantown. I was gonna go to Beantown. We were, with my Knicks gear proud. Okay, and there was gonna be no problems. There was gonna be no issues. It was gonna be all respect and love of sports. Boston, #1 sports city. And I just did I sleep on the Pacers? Maybe. What they did, but even with the historic shooting performance, yes, they broke an N.B.A. record. They shot 67% for the entire game, N.B.A. record. I still stand by the Knicks could have won this game. And I'm going to get to, and you saw they cut it to 7-6, whatever it was in the third quarter, right there, and ended up still catching a 20-piece with the special sauce. They still caught a 20-piece with special sauce. I'm not happy. I'm not hearing any excuses about injuries. Flat out, they got mad dogged. The energy and the swagger to Tyrese House. And folks, what time is it? It's 10:51 on the Eastern Coast. Okay, folks, we know what we just saw in the Western Conference. That Ant-Man Edwards. So I'm gonna get to the West first, and then we're gonna backtrack to my New York Knicks. My heart is hurting. My Knicks gear. I'm rocking here to here for SandCity. I'm rocking this for SandCity. But I was ready to be in Beantown on Thursday for the Eastern Conference Finals. But it is what it is. Let me go over to the live on YouTube to see. Let me see if I can just jump in. Can I jump into it? Okay. So okay. Let me see if anybody's over in the chat. I don't see too much chat going on, but just to keep my eye on that. Just to keep my own eye on the okay to YouTube. I'm working. Thank you for being patient with me as I work through my technical difficulties and just getting that in order. It's always the first part of the show. Um, but I just want to communicate with those that are still up. A couple people might still be up, might still be rocking with us, and so I want to have sensitivity and all of that stuff in terms of. Let me see the Facebook. Okay, nobody's rocking with us on the Facebook just yet, but we live and we doing what we need to do, and now we're gonna get right into it, folks. We're gonna get right into it. What the heck happened in Denver, folks? I picked Minnesota heart, head Denver. All right. I was out walking Willis for the first half. I'm not ashamed of that. I had to Willis needed to go for a walk. We went for our walk. We walk about a mile and change. Maybe close to 2 miles through the neighborhood. Good neighborhood. So me and Willis was out on our walk um at dusk. As the sun is setting and even, it gets a little dark when we got back. So I didn't see the first half in its entirety. But Denver was up 20, rolling. Okay, checked in inside the N.B.A. and I said, hey, that it is what it is. Denver, they're the experienced team. They've been there before, and that's what my gut was telling me in in um in this Game 7 situation. That Minnesota, the new kids on the block, they had the swagger, this, but it was Denver. They're the defending champions. Okay, and I'm gonna cut to the quick on this, and then I'm gonna roll because I got. There's a lot that has to be unpacked. Quite a bit that has to be unpacked. But in terms of Denver, folks, when they challenged for the NBA championship in that bubble playoffs, and that's a real championship. Okay, that's not. Hold on. That's not. Let me see what's going on. Let me see. I let the folks in the chat. Okay, see if anybody in the fantasy chat is gonna jump on. Back to Denver. They competed for an NBA championship in the bubble, down 3-1 against a very good Utah Jazz team that could have well won a championship. And those Quinn Snyder peak years, they were down 3-1 against that Utah team. Prime Donovan Mitchell. And we'll get to Donovan Mitchell in the New York Knicks talks. Came all the way back. Down 3-1 against the Los Angeles Clippers team that was supposed to bring that championship back to LA for Steve Ballmer, richest owner in team sports. Top 10 richest people in the world. Down 3-1 against that Clippers team. Sent them packing. And the Lakers had their number and they ran out of gas in the Western Conference Finals. What's going on, bro? Thanks so much for being here. We're talking Nuggets and T-Wolves. We're breaking down. I'm just going from the Denver perspective.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
You can hear me. I can hear you. We're good to go. We're talking Nuggets and T-Wolves. Listen, fact of the matter is look, Denver. This is a true championship team that has earned their stripes. I'm going all the way back to the bubble. I'm going back 4 years. Right? They weren't healthy until last year when they won the championship. Meaning, folks, if the Denver Nuggets had been healthy from 2020 to 2024, we wouldn't be talking about, in my view, a one-time NBA champion. Denver Nuggets coulda, woulda, shoulda, if it were a fifth.
Yeah. No.
Won
Hey,
multiple
injuries are part of the game,
championships.
though. I don't see multiple championships, Jay. I just see, you know, that's a part of the playoffs. Every team is dealing with injuries right now. Look at your Knicks.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to my Knicks, but yes, yeah, injuries happen. Um, but listen, this Denver Nuggets team, in terms of what happened tonight, yes, it's a part. But had they
You
been
know,
healthy for 4 straight years, would they have won more than one championship?
we know
If
what
the Denver
happened
Nuggets were
tonight.
healthy,
You know what happened tonight? They don't have a bench. That's what happened tonight.
okay. Christian Braun, where are you? Reggie Jackson, where are you?
Where are you?
I don't know which Holiday brother that's on their team, but where are you? Uh,
They booked their flight to Cancun. That's where they were.
right. The narrative that the Nuggets don't have a bench. Okay, point taken. Meaning they don't have a Bruce Bowen. They don't have a fill it up, and not that Bruce Bowen was a fill it up scorer, but he could score. They never replaced Bruce Bowen, so I'll give you that. But Christian Braun knows his business. Reggie Jackson knows his business. Christian Braun's more of a Swiss Army knife. But Reggie Jackson, you're talking about he should be scoring. The Holiday brother, we know the Holiday brother.
Reggie Jackson's 35. Reggie Jackson's 35 years old.
Okay, who did they bring? Oh, they didn't bring in. They don't have a big that comes off the bench.
No, Joker played every minute besides 1 minute. He was tired. At the end of the game, he was exhausted.
Okay, and we saw that in New York, and I'm not conceding that, though. At the end of the game, he was exhausted. You're up 20 points in the third quarter. So what are you talking about a bench? You just got to land the plane.
No.
Okay, what happened is, in my view, same thing that happened with my Knicks. Jokic and Jamal Murray looked over at the next face to the N.B.A., Anthony Edwards, and they blinked. That's what happened.
Anthony Edwards had 16 points. What are you talking about? 16 points.
How about those 2 steals?
Okay.
How about the
he had 16 points.
How many?
If you're gonna talk about anybody, you talk about Cat.
This was a team.
It was a team effort. It was absolutely, but you can't say they blinked twice and Anthony Edwards made them win this game. There was a full-blown team effort. Even Nas coming off the bench. That is why the Nuggets they didn't have that formula this year. Where if it came down to who's going to win the best team effort game, yeah, you might win the race, but the game is going to be the full game. And in Game 7, the best team is going to win.
Okay, and the best team up until the last 16. No. 20. The best team for the first 28 minutes was the Denver Nuggets.
Okay, that's why there's two halves of basketball, Andre.
Yeah, all right, of course, it's right towards basketball. But my point in terms of teams that got mad dogged, you're saying that Jokic and Jamal Murray now all of a sudden it's because they don't have a bench and they got tired. What I'm saying is at some point you look across at the other person in the ring with you, okay, and you see.
Well, you heard Ant say it. You heard Ant say who's the MVP? The man named Jaden McDaniels.
Okay, Jaden McDaniels.
Okay.
Yeah. And Anthony Edwards, he was honest that his offense wasn't there to trust his teammates.
It's not even Jaden McDaniels the whole series. Guarding Jamal Murray. You don't understand. Jaden McDaniels is the MVP for this team. Because, his next task is Luka.
Okay, and good luck with that. All right, and back to Jaden McDaniels. Yes, I'm a Jaden McDaniels fan, and we referenced the fact that he's a big part of the reason why they have the #1 defensive efficiency rating. Their starting 5. He's a huge part of that as a 3-and-D guy. But Jaden McDaniels in this series, where did he go in games 3, 4, and 5? Where was Jaden McDaniels in games 3, 4, and 5?
When they didn't have Conley, when he disappeared when they didn't have Conley. Noticeably. Okay. He disappeared when they didn't have Conley. So yeah, I think that's pretty much obvious.
Yeah,
Conley's the glue guy.
Conley's the glue guy, but I'm not going to go there with Jaden McDaniels being I'm saying Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Jaden McDaniels. This is about stars. This is about stars. And Jokic and Jamal Murray were
tonight was not about stars. Tonight was not about stars. They weren't, because you can't say Jokic and Murray were MIA. I think Jokic had 34 points. Murray had 29. 29. One of them had 34. One of them had 29. So for you to say MIA is crazy.
It's not crazy because 25 of those 29 points, 24 of those 29 points for Jamal Murray were in the first half.
But Murray averaged 19 points the whole series. Murray averaged 19 points the whole series. So what are you talking about? What production are you expecting from those two players in this game? Because it wasn't on them. It was on Aaron Gordon, who nowhere to be found. I don't think Aaron Gordon shot a jump shot. Michael Porter Jr., who found himself on the bench to end the game. KCP, who hit his 2 threes. And that's what it was. They got outplayed man to man.
And that was my point to begin with. Man to man, star to star, MVP candidate to MVP candidate. Jokic and Jamal Murray looked across the way at Cat, Anthony Edwards, and Rudy Gobert, 3-2. That was my point to begin this series, which is why I picked Minnesota. Minnesota, pound for pound, is more talented, and this goes back to your point about a bench, which I will concede. But I'm talking about the starting five. Minnesota's starting five is more talented than Denver's starting five.
Wrong.
Any story. And it comes
wrong. No,
I'm not
wrong.
I'm not wrong.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Minnesota's starting five is better than Denver's starting five.
No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. You are wrong, sir.
We went down the
list. What are you talking about? So Aaron Gordon is not better than Cat Williams? Are you serious?
Did you say Aaron Gordon is better than Karl Anthony Towns?
No. It's not even close.
So Minnesota has the better starting five.
Yes.
That's what
player
I
for
said.
player. Yeah, player for player. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Now back to my original point about being mad dogged and Minnesota when it got hairy, when the push came to shove. This is what I'm saying. Mike Tyson, everybody has a plan to get punched in the mouth. What I'm saying is in round 12, 13, 14, and 15, down the stretch, Jokic and Jamal Murray looked at Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert. Let's just say Anthony Edwards and Cat. Let's leave Rudy Gobert out of this. Let's leave Rudy and Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray and J.D. McGinn. Let's leave the two superstars. Now, Cat, and Jamal Murray, but the two perennial all-stars, let's just say.
I'm still here.
Looking at each other. What I'm saying is that Minnesota was younger. They're more explosive. They're more dynamic. They were the more thorough. And what we saw in this series, Denver was exposed as a highly efficient but not necessarily athletic team. That's what I'm saying. It gets to a point in sports where you look across and who is the more sporting, for lack of a better term, who is the more supreme athlete. And if this came down to efficiency and strategy, advantage Denver. But Minnesota playing together with a coach that put together Minnesota is a well-coached, well-composed, back to your point about Mike Conley. That's what I'm saying. Second half, which this is a narrative. 3-time MVP, right? Where's the 3-time MVP? All-time great player. He got mad dogged. He got mad dogged tonight. That's what I'm saying. And that's a narrative that we need to hear. I'm not a Jokic hater. I'm not saying
you know who's never gotten mad dog? Shaq.
Shaq did get mad dog. Go back to the 2004 NBA Finals against the Detroit Pistons. Okay, Shaq is taking his lumps. All right, Shaq is. It happens to the best of them, but we didn't expect it in the second half when you're up 20 for it to happen to Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray, he got mud in his face as well. He's got some significant mud on his face as well. Okay, your lighting is good.
Yeah.
There you go. Move it out of the frame. It's still in the frame. You gotta.
There we go.
Very nice.
There we go.
You can see. You might want to move it just a little bit to your left. To your left. Move your screen a little. Move your screen to the left. Keep that there where it is, and then there you go. Now you got it. Very nice. Use that for the Twitch.
Yeah.
My point again about alphas and about blinking. There's no shame. Okay? There's no shame for that Tommy Hearns lost to Marvin Hagler. There's no shame that Muhammad Ali lost to Joe Frazier in the first bout. There's no frame. There's no shame. Larry Holmes. Shout out to Larry and Muhammad. That's a great 30 for 30. When two champions, what do? I'm a critic. I'm not in the arena. But it is a narrative. It is a point. Nikola Jokic, 3-time MVP, all of this, and he deserves it. He looked across and he blinked tonight. Anthony Edwards looked him dead in the face and said, I don't care about the MVPs. I don't care about all of this. I'm here. See me. Okay? You were up 20. You lost by 10. That's a 30-point swing. And there's a lot of things that went into it. And to your point, J.D. McDaniels played his role. Rudy Gobert, are you kidding me with that turnaround jump shot? out of the timeout. Are you kidding me? Turnaround jump shot. Are you kidding me? And we're gonna get to how these teams played on the road because the Indiana Pacers couldn't miss. For all the rupees in India, they couldn't miss. But Rudy Gobert makes a crazy turnaround. Then what does he do on the defensive end? He blocks Aaron Gordon and Jokic to win a defensive possession. So it was a collective effort. But the NBA is about star players. It's about alphas. And tonight, the big dog on the block is Anthony Edwards even 25 years old? What is he? Can he even rent a car? Can he rent a car on the road, or does the agent have to do that for him? How old is the man? All right? But he has proven the issues for him coming out of Georgia that I had, maturity, shooting too many jump shots, is he coachable? All of those, I was dead wrong. And again, shout out to Anthony Edwards, shout out to Clutch Sports. If you want to go see something, you don't judge a book by its cover. Check out Anthony Edwards on draft day. It was very respect. It was a heartfelt thing that happened. Okay, because Anthony Edwards lost his grandmother, lost his mother. They had murals of both of them on each side of him on draft day. Okay, you don't know what somebody's carrying in their heart. But the things, in terms of basketball and his consistency and his love of the game and his willingness to expand his game and not just live around the three-point line and his ability to be a team-first guy, he's answered all of those in spades. And now, all of a sudden, he's on his way to being the next face of the NBA.
And we got the same birthday.
I didn't realize that. Shout out to August 5th. Anthony Edwards, born on August 5th. I didn't realize that. It's fun fact of the night. Shout out to Anthony Edwards and, sharing a birthday with my bro. Okay? Tonight's about a lot of things, bro, and I'm going to let you go ahead and jump in. It's obviously a tale of two halves, but Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray are not escaping. As far as I'm concerned, they're not escaping. You're the defending champions. You're a three-time, and a lot of it on Jokic, but Murray, you're going to get some too.
Well, you got to understand, man.
You gave up a 20-point lead.
The NBA has had 5 different NBA champions the last 5 years. So there ain't no dynasty running in Denver. Nope.
There could have been.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Listen.
You know what? That's what happens when you don't bring back your bench.
All right. The point about the bench, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to fight that. I'm not going to. That's a good point. What I'm saying though is, nobody would be worried about a bench if they just hold on to that 20-point lead. Nobody would be worried about a bench. They couldn't
hold on to the bench. They couldn't even get Joker a second to get a Gatorade. My boy needed a water. My boy needed to take a seat. My boy was tired.
And I'm going to push back a little bit on that. He didn't look tired, hitting threes down the stretch. Jokic made buckets.
Tired.
He showed signs and
hitting
continued
threes down the stretch. He shot what? He hit 1 3. He shot 1 of 8.
I don't think he wanted to come out of the game. I don't think Murray wanted to come out of the game. I just think they couldn't outmaneuver.
They were up by 20 points, Andre. You come out of the game for a second.
Or maybe you call a timeout.
Or you call a timeout.
Yeah. Denver had 2 down the stretch. So what are we doing?
But they finished the game with 2 timeouts. So you finish the game with 2 timeouts. You blow a 30. You face a 30-point swing. On 2 timeouts. So, it comes down to, at some point, you're up 20. Your coach got to coach the team to win the game, and they didn't. Malone really dropped the ball in terms of his plan. I don't know what it was. No timeout? Nothing?
Nothing. So Mike Malone, he's got to get some of this mud in his face. He's not exempt. From this circumstance. Hold on, let me go over here. Let me.
I think Malone should be getting the brunt of this awful poor coaching. You finish the game with 2 timeouts and blow a 20-point lead. You blow the biggest lead in Game 7 history, and you finish the game with timeouts.
What are we doing here? And Mike Malone, one of my favorite coaches. Denver Nuggets, one of my favorite teams. I'm going on and on about the Nuggets, but I'm a little bit upset and I'm heartbroken for my Knicks, but for the Nuggets, I don't like the fact that they don't make it past the divisional round after winning the championship. I flat don't like that fact. If they're going to lose, I would have preferred for them to lose in the Western Conference Finals. Nonetheless, I'm super excited about Minnesota and their rise. Is it a year early? Would I have liked? Well, who cares what I like? Would I have picked Minnesota Timberwolves to break through next year, much more so than this year? Yes. And a part of that is their youth and experience, but another part of that is I'm not ready. And not to say that Denver's quote unquote reign is over. But again, we have the Devin Booker example.
The reign is over. We saw the Phoenix Suns, but they actually won it, and now the Nuggets go back into the mix of the West because everybody in the West comes back next year better.
And that's a little bit, again, back to the original point. This is a team that has been competitive for championships, and there's no two ways about it, since 2020. They've been competitive for championships since 2020, yes. And they just have not been healthy. So you
can say the same thing about the Heat.
They missed 2 years of a championship window because of injury, and now, again,
you can say the same thing about the Heat.
Okay, maybe no. Well, okay, your point taken. If they had Tyler Hero last year, but I wouldn't have picked them to beat Denver with Tyler Hero. And in terms of a championship window last year with the Heat, and then this year losing Jimmy Butler, why don't you get the heck out of the play-in round before I shed any tears for you?
Well, this is where I came down from. Is the Nuggets lose last day of the season to lose home court, and that was a big sign for Denver, because as the coach, that's a must-win game, especially when you don't go to the White House because you're trying to win the 1 seed. So you lose to the Spurs, who finished the season with 19 wins. That is why I say the Nuggets, the Spurs are going to be in the playoffs next year. So figure it out. Joker, how do you stop Joker? You put height on him. Joker, the NBA is getting taller by the avatars are becoming in the NBA. Good luck in the West.
Denver's not going anywhere in terms of being contenders. Will they win another championship? Will they make it back to the finals?
No. It's over. That window closed. Nope. Over. Because they're not beating the T-Wolves in a 7-game series. We run that back.
They hold on to a 20-point lead. They beat them tonight.
Okay. Well, guess what? You did it. Window closed.
Right, you can feel that way. I see it differently. I'm holding out hope for Denver, but at the same time,
there's no hope. There's no hope. The Thunder got a little older. Timberwolves battle tested. Mavericks battle tested.
Okay, and then you have a bunch of question marks.
All right, a bunch of
question marks. Phoenix, sorry to say, no.
No, they're not in there.
Clippers, no.
No.
Kings, yes.
Yes. Spurs, yes.
Young.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Young. It's going to take them time. It's going to take them some time.
Spurs are going to watch the Spurs make moves this year in the offseason.
Lakers, no. New Orleans, no. Utah, no.
No.
So they still are in the conversation.
No, they'll be there. But
I'm upset.
I'm just saying that they are not making it out of the second round. It's finito. They maybe will get out of the first round. They're no longer making it out of the second round. They're not a top 4 team.
Because of what teams?
They're not a top 4 team in the West.
So besides Minnesota, who's better than them?
Besides Minnesota, who's better than them? Thunder will be better than them next year.
Thunder, who couldn't force a Game 7?
Hey, Thunder were the youngest 1 seed ever.
All right,
They played a team who, I mean, what Luca has been playing pro. You know, they're young, the youngest team in NBA history as a 1 seed. So honestly, if you were expecting them to win that game, Vegas knew they were going to lose that game. They were heavy underdogs
yeah,
on the
Vegas might know
road,
it, but I didn't know it.
but it was on the road. You expect them young boys to come out and win on the road?
They were up 16 points on the road.
Like you said, in the playoffs, you know, leads the best, like battle tested players. Yeah, they have Shy, but who else? You know, Kyrie and Luca turned it up fourth quarter. Where Jalen Williams, you're
He had
there.
some
I don't
buckets.
know. Yeah, he did. He had some huge buckets down the stretch. But when it comes down to fourth quarter, you're going against Kyrie. That's gonna be tough.
All right, Luke and Kyrie can score. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander put that team on his back down the stretch.
Yeah.
Very pleased with how he showed me an MVP. Rather, and he's obviously intelligent, all the intangibles, but he stepped up. Particularly, there was a time he came up, he had a three after Dallas came back. He had a three to keep it right there in the margins. That was an unfortunate foul. It was certainly a foul. It was just, he didn't need to do it. The
He didn't
guy
need to
he
do it.
contested.
He didn't need to go for the block.
If he had just flown,
he
if
should
he
have
just
flown
had
by.
his hand up and contested, that's not, and even though Washington, that's not their best spot up shooter. He's a good spot up
But
shooter.
he went for the big play, to be honest.
And he didn't need to do it.
He didn't need to do it.
So tough way for the game to end. Bottom line though is OKC is not better than Denver next year.
Yes,
if you just bring both teams back. Okay? They're and the only reason I can say that they would be is my argument about getting mad dogged and being an alpha. Meaning, yes, to your point, they are younger and they are more explosive. And to your point about a bench, I just think they might need all of their players they don't have explosive players. And they don't have young players. So how do you integrate and by the way, Golden State failed at this. So it's a tough nut to crack, right? Golden State tried to bring in Jordan Poole. They tried to bring in James Wiseman.
Well, Christian Braun was supposed to be that fit.
Christian Braun is not of that category. Christian Braun is a good, serviceable role player. Christian Braun he's
their young guy.
Piece.
He's their young. Okay. He's their young piece. He's the reason why they let go of Bruce.
Okay, and to the point we already established that they made a mistake not replacing Bruce Bowen. What I'm saying is that it's hard to weld together ascending stars and current stars. It's difficult. And Golden State failed miserably at this, which is why they're in the state that they're at right now. Jonathan Kuminga, James Wiseman, they got rid of. Who's the other? Jordan Poole, out and out disaster. I can't pronounce his name. The rookie that they have this year is a nice fit. But you can see that there was tension and convolutedness, if that's even a word, right? You got Pazorski, apologize for the pronunciation, who was the better player, but then you got Clay there, who's still holding on, right? So hopefully Golden State makes the right move this year and gives Clay a reduced contract. You're taking less money, Clay, period, end of story, and you're coming off the bench. That's your role. You're in the Manu Ginobili role now. And even though we can't expect you to be anything close to Ginobili, missing 3 straight years and getting long in the tooth, it's hard to weld established superstars with ascending stars. But that's what Denver has to do. Michael Porter Jr., frankly, all this talk, he should have been the alpha athletic player. There's no reason why Jaden McDaniels should be outmaneuvering Michael Porter Jr., but what you saw, and Michael Porter Jr., he's going through some things in his personal life and, respect. But he was supposed to be the young lion, not just the 3 points, volume shooting player. And that's the rep. Denver did an outstanding.
They drafted him with a broken back.
Okay, but they did an outstanding job. Buy low, sell high, because they brought him in. They let him get healthy over 2-3 years, and now he's a serviceable starter on a championship team. But my point is, his back is not an issue right now. So where the heck is
No,
the defense? Where the heck is the attacking the basket? You're a glorified Kyle Korver is what you are. You're glorified Kyle Korver.
he really is a catch and
And with
shoot.
his athleticism, well,
He's a catch and shoot guy.
yeah, so is Kyle Korver. But Michael Porter Jr. can give you a tremendous amount more with his athletic ability than a doggone just straight up and catch and shoot guy. Jaden McDaniels, all right? Who can shoot better, Kyle, MPJ or Jaden McDaniels? Yes, MPJ can shoot better. But look at everything else Jaden McDaniels brings to the table. He's a true 3-and-D guy. Who's the 3-and-D guy for Denver? That's right, he doesn't exist.
They
And
don't
it
have
should
one.
be Michael Porter Jr. Exactly.
They
So
don't
in
have
terms
one.
of,
That's why
my
he was
heart
on the
hurts.
bench to end the game.
Okay.
Because he doesn't even play defense.
Okay, so that point taken. To your point, yes, they need a bench. But what I'm saying is they need a bench. And you know who would have helped them a lot? A guy like a Jay Crowder. A guy like a PJ Tucker. A guy, that savvy veteran to just come in and mix it up and do the things that Michael Porter Jr. should be able to do, but he's never done.
Like
Right?
a like a Marquise Morris or the Morris
Exactly.
brothers.
Yes.
One of them.
Yeah, one of the Morris brothers. Just a grizzled veteran, presence, physical, to do the things. Michael Porter Jr. Personal life, I'm not, good, bad, or indifferent. But they needed you to be a third dude.
Yeah,
just to win possessions.
I honestly
and he
think
couldn't
he
do it.
finished the
And the
game
thing
with
about
like
Aaron Gordon,
8 points.
Aaron Gordon also, he's a guy that he's not. Aaron Gordon is not the explosive athlete that he once was, and you saw it. Karl Anthony Towns, Michael Porter Jr. misses. Excuse me. Michael Conley misses the layup. Who comes flying in with the tip dunk? Who come flying in with the tip dunk? That's my point that I'm making. No. MPJ. That was Cat. Cat flew in with the tip dunk. Nas might have got a tip. Cat flew.
Nas had a tip dunk in the fourth quarter.
Okay, well they both were getting tip dunks. Where the heck is Aaron Gordon? Where the heck is Michael Porter Jr.? That's my point about Denver.
Aaron Gordon was MIA. The game plan was second half literally was to force Michael to shoot and score, and Aaron Gordon. Keep double on Joker. Jamal cooled down. Let Jamal get his points. Shut down those other three.
No doubt. And it is what it is. We're gonna keep going, bro. The Facebook, we might wind that down a little bit, but we got to get in here and talk about this, folks. It's a little bit late, but it's not that late. It's not that late on the East Coast, and we had 2 Game 7s that have to be discussed, that have to be broken down. And long story not so long. I'm what's the word that I'm looking for? What's the word that I'm discouraged? No, discouraged is too much. I'm disheartened. With my Knicks, much more so, and then with the Denver Minutes. So let's wrap the T Wolves Denver, because I do think that, and I'm not sorry that we're going on and on about Denver. Their championship window, it's gotten that much more narrow. I would have liked to have seen them at least get to the finals and lose to the Celtics. There would be a lot more respect on their names had that been the case. But going out in the divisional round to a very good Minnesota Timberwolves team, that's just the luck of the draw. They would have been much better off with the 4 seed rather than the 2 seed and facing the monster of Minnesota. Because obviously OKC, the new kids on the block, they certainly have some growing and learning to do. It's nice for the league to see the next face of the league, Anthony Edwards, coming into his prime. Bottom line, I'm just a little bit disheartened, if that's the right word. There's a little bit of empathy that I have that Anthony Edwards' rise has to be at the expense of Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and this Denver Nuggets team. What I'm saying is, I wouldn't have a problem if this was the Western Conference Finals. But for it to take place in the divisional round hurts my heart a little bit. In terms of Minnesota, I had them going to the finals. And we just saw it. They're more of a threat to the Boston Celtics than the Denver Nuggets are. Right? Then Boston Celtics could have done the same thing. A lot of the reason that I picked the Boston Celtics is because they're more athletic and they're deeper than the Denver Nuggets. They're not more athletic than the Minnesota Timberwolves. Period. Right? Minnesota Timberwolves have the best player on the court in Anthony Edwards. He's the best player on the court. Now, what does this mean in terms of a threat to Boston? Jaylen Brown, it's time for you to step the heck up. Drew Holiday, it's time for you to step the heck up. Derek White, right? Fringe all-star. That's why I'm really concerned about Minnesota. Because the Celtics lack height and Minnesota's huge. They're huge. And that's going to be an issue. Crispy P, if he's healthy, he needs to be healthy. He better be healthy. There's no... So let's just say, assuming health, and Crispy P is healthy, he's got his hands full. Because Karl Anthony Towns, pound for pound is better than Crispy P. And that's not debatable. Karl Anthony Towns is a better player than Kristaps Porzingis. Porzingis has been playing very well these last 2 years, defending, rebounding, hitting the three. But Karl Anthony Towns is better than him. Okay? And you also throw in Rudy Gobert. Now, yes, he's not an offensive threat, and he hurts your spacing, as Charles Barkley was saying inside the NBA. But what I'm getting at is starting Tatum at the 4. Tatum is really going to have to rebound. He's going to have his hands full, because if he doesn't, Gobert is just going to gobble up so many offensive rebounds and then cause havoc, right? The Celtics, what do they want to do? They want to shoot a bunch of threes. Well, guess what? Rudy Gobert can defend the three-point line. He can get out and put a hand up on that three-point shooter and force you off the three-point line. So, the same way I said Minnesota's starting 5 was better than Denver's, and I meant that. Minnesota's starting, it's very close. It's very, very close. Boston starting 5 and Minnesota starting 5. Advantage Boston but here's my thing. Here's where the series, a lot of it comes down to, and then you can jump in. Drew Holiday has to dominate Mike Conley.
Oh, yeah.
He has to dominate his ass.
Dominate.
Meaning Joe Mazzulla, Sam Cassell, Charles Lee, Emil Jefferson, get into your damn playbook and post Drew Holiday up against Mike Conley. I need you to find me a set where where Drew Holiday is.
You won't be able to do that.
Why? Because Gobert? Why? Because Gobert? Exactly. You will be able to do that because if you post up Mike Conley, then Crispy P should be spotting up for 3. You should be able to do that.
We got to see Crispy P. Crispy P's got to play first. Before I even start talking about Porzingis,
I said I'm assuming health.
I gotta see him. True.
I'm assuming health.
But we gotta see health first. I want to talk about what we see right now. I don't want to assume anything. And going in, we have a tested team in the Pacers. Do I feel like they have enough to compete with the Celtics right now? Absolutely not. And the reason why is, they have one of our bench players. I mean, who's the small forward
for Boston
Pacers?
Spicy P.
Who's the small forward for the Pacers?
Small forward for the Pacers. They start. Is it Niebuhr?
Yeah.
Halliburton, Nesmith, Niebuhr.
He used to play for the Celtics. So if Jaylen Brown doesn't put up at least 25 a game, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Nesmith's a good defender.
Yeah, I need Jalen Brown to take his lunch money, just like he did in practice.
I would say, okay, Nebar, I think, is their defender, is the one that you can really go
No,
at.
Naismith, Naismith is going to be guarding. Neymar is going to be guarding
Derek White.
Derek White.
Okay, listen. I think Neesmith is a better defender than Nebar, and so and I apologize. Not pronouncing the last name correctly, but your point is well taken. In that, and I said it's the same thing against Indiana. I need more offensively from Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is a good facilitator, and he makes the right pass. Good. He's got to put pressure on Tyrese Halliburton. He's got to put pressure on those guards, and it's the same thing. Tyrese Halliburton is what, 6'3", like maybe 6'4", and thin. Drew Holiday is 6'5" and burly. I need Holiday to start to impose his will and win these matchups. To start with against Indiana, and if it ends up being against the Timberwolves, it can't be Mike Conley and Drew Holiday are just a wash doing the same thing.
No,
Because
that can't
Anthony
be.
Edwards is much better than Derek White, and that's going to be again Derek White. You need to make Anthony Edwards work. Derek White scoring, being a threat. Okay, Jaden Daniels can give Jaylen Brown some trouble. He's a very good defender. Now you go to Tatum and Cat, advantage Tatum, but Cat is no slouch, and then Gobert and Crispy. Crispy has to win that matchup, and it's going to be difficult. So Minnesota is more of a threat to Boston than Denver.
Absolutely.
They're a threat. And then of course
Minnesota is I think Minnesota is a threat to win it all right now. I mean,
yeah.
obviously they're.
And then you bring up the good point. They have the sixth man of the year. They have Slow Mo. Prior to St. Anthony's out of New Jersey, they got Kyle Anderson. They bring in Tyus Jones or whatever. They have pieces off the bench as well.
No, they don't have Tyus Jones. They got Morris. They got
Okay,
Alexander.
Morris, right? Yeah. Alexander, another. They're deep.
They got a bench. Let's just put it that way. So the Mavs, they got their hands full.
I'm yawning, but we doing what we doing. We here at SandCity Sports. We're on the Facebook Live checking. I know it's late. It's also, bro. You realize next weekend's Memorial Day?
What?
Okay, we're next weekend's Memorial Day weekend, just like that. Okay, so it is late, but it's also the season. 'Tis the season to get it on and cracking. We 50 minutes into this call. We're gonna go 11:35. We might have to go all the way up to midnight. It's just the way that it has to be, because I haven't even gotten into my New York Knicks. I know it's late in terms of the Facebook Live. People rocking with us, and the YouTube Live is what it is. It we got to get into a couple more things. So, Celtics gentlemen sweep or sweep of the Pacers?
Uh, I think gentlemen.
Indiana, okay, and that's a nice little segue. We're gonna touch on some more sports topics, and look, Pacers. It was a historic night. Scored 130 points. Scored 70 points in the first half. Shot 67% from the field. I tip my hat to this team. They saved their best for last. And not just the shooting percentages. They shot the lights out. There's only so much you can do about that. But that was by far their best game of the series. Even if they didn't shoot 67, even if they shot a more reasonable number, they were playing with confidence. They were playing together. They were sharing the ball. They played good defense. The Knicks got a couple hometown calls, which I don't like. We don't need those. Got a couple hometown calls. The Halliburton steal was rightly overturned. Jalen Brunson hunting fouls. They called 2 travels on Nebar back to back. I don't love those calls. I want my team to win it on the merits. But my point is, even with that, the Pacers, they just consistently had an answer time and again and again. Halliburton had a good game. He sat out half the game. To your point about a bench, TJ McCollum came in and did his thing
The
as we
Knicks
shift
were
gears
just
over.
turning the ball over on inbound passes. That's when I knew it was over.
You know, and
Classic Knicks meltdown.
listen, I and I know we're a little bit late on on the East Coast, but it is what it is. We had to come in and get the Facebook Live in terms of the YouTube, call in, check in, chat, all the rest of that stuff. It's late, but it's really not that late when you talk about what happened today in the wonderful world of sports. I'm gonna stay with the Pacers. I tip my hat. This is a Rick Carlisle led team. This is what you expect from them. Rick Carlisle is an elite coach in the league, and they were ready. They were confident. They had counters and played through calls. And so I'm happy. I'm not happy for them. No, that's the wrong word. I tip my hat. I put respect on their name is what I'm trying to say. That aside, their historic shooting and their confidence and their swagger and their will. The Knicks were down 7 points in the second half. They had a window down 7. There was a couple possessions. Deuce McBride had a turnover. You know, they were possessions where they could have cut this lead to 3. They could have tied the game up. And it was just the continual comedy of errors. Deuce McBride, you don't realize that it's an out of bounds play, not a made basket. What is going on? Jalen Brunson, Hertzstein throws you the ball, you're not ready. It was just they continued to shoot themselves in the foot with boneheaded errors. And I don't want to hear about them being tired. And I don't want to
No,
hear
no, no.
about,
There was no tired.
usage. No.
It came
What
down to
happened
Anobi was
is
hurt.
you got mad dogged.
No, I
This
wouldn't
whole
say
day, oh,
that.
Tibbs slander, and he runs guys into the ground. What did Josh Hart say? We're not teachers. We're not construction workers. We're not plumbers. We're not electricians. We play basketball for a living. When it's going well and you're hitting threes, nobody talks about usage and about being run to the ground. When Jalen Brunson was scoring 40 points and he was the toast of the town, nobody cared about usage. People only talk that foolishness when the team plays bad. Well, you can't have it both ways. And what I'm saying in both series, I said this about Minnesota, mano y mano. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. When you're in that square circle, what am I? I'm a critic. I'm a pundit. I opine. Okay, into the internet universe late at night on a work night. Okay, that's okay. When I got someplace to be, all right, I get my sleep and I'll be up early at it tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. My point is this. It wasn't the fatigue for the Knicks. They just got mad dogged. The silence of the garden got to them. They started to feel and the tension in the air, and it got to them. And it became a snowball effect. That silence. The Knicks, that's what happens in a game 7 on the road. If you don't capture the momentum, the crowd becomes an extra weight, an extra burden, an anchor, pulling you down. That was a part of the Knicks.
That's what happened to Denver.
Exactly.
But we don't need to talk about what happened. They blew
We
that
talked
lead.
about what happened to Denver, and it's the same thing. Another 2 home teams lose game 7. And the fact that they started feeling the heat, the pressure, however you want to say it, it's a real thing. And it affected my Knicks, and I'm not making excuses for them, and I'm not happy. Oh, well, if they would have had no. It was a 7-point game. You're home. The crowd is going bananas. Deuce McBride, don't throw it across the court. Jalen Brunson, Find a way. Make a play. It doesn't have to be scoring. It can be facilitating. I didn't like Dante DiVincenzo being on the bench for the entire second quarter. Tibbs, what are you doing? Everybody. Yeah, Tibbs, you can get some of this smoke too. Why did Dante sit for so long in the second quarter? We didn't make any progress. Lucky it went from 20 to 15, got a couple favorable whistles. But Deuce McBride, he didn't give you much of anything today.
Deuce McBride didn't do anything.
He started the third quarter hot. He had some buckets, some straight line drives.
He didn't give you anything.
As the Knicks cut it to 7. That was the opportunity. How do you cut it to 7 and still lose by 20? Okay? Because the Pacers kept their swag. They kept their confidence. Tyrese Halliburton talking to the fans. And the Knicks, you didn't have any of that. So now we have to get into our further conversation about, next year, do we need to do this? Do we need to do that? Do we need to do the third? The answer is no. There's one solution for the New York Knicks, and I've been saying this from the beginning. Complete La Cosa Nova and bring Mikal Bridges
home. I don't want to even have the conversation.
Complete La Cosa Nova and bring Mikal Bridges home.
Mikal Bridges is not going anywhere. They already said they're not trading them. It's the franchise player.
They can find another franchise player. Complete La Cosa Nova. Look, Donovan Mitchell, there's been some talk, he wants out and or if he stays, other people want out. He's not a good fit for the Knicks, period, end of story. Donovan Mitchell is a high usage, volume shooting 2-guard. Jalen Brunson is a high usage.
You mean Coach Mitchell?
Whatever you want to call him. And he's from the New York area and all that stuff. I get it. I like it. Fine. He's not a good fit for this team. A. B. DiVincenzo, he's a starting 2. It works. Him and Brunson in the backcourt. It works. We don't need to okay, Bridges. And here's what I say. Because you have OG. What if you bring in Bridges, he plays the same position as OG. Is Julius Randle ever going to be healthy in the playoffs? Now,
you're saying trade. Saying trade Julius, because it's not happening. You just got OG Anunoby, and it's not happening, man.
If I had my druthers, if you ask me 100%. Now, Julius, listen. I need Julius to commit to New York. I need, he had the surgery. He's out, so on and forth. Julius Randle, I don't like you talking about the Knicks fans criticizing you. I don't like your bad attitude at times, period. Either you get down with La Cosa Nova. Either Julius gets down with the Nova movement, the selfless movement, or he can go.
All right, well, y'all got to get out of the division. Y'all got to get out of the division round.
We bring in Mikal, because you know what Mikal Bridges doesn't do? You know what Mikal Bridges doesn't do? He doesn't miss playoff games. You know what also he doesn't do? He doesn't miss regular season games. You know what he doesn't miss work ever.
So why would you get rid of him?
The Nets are going nowhere. We can trade you, Julie. I trade Randall for Mikal Bridges straight up today.
Why would they do that?
Then you can take the first. Why does Mikal Bridges want to be playing for the redheaded stepchild when he can walk down the street and play with his homeboys for a championship?
Because he's getting a max deal. What are you talking?
So we can give him a max deal.
I don't think No, you can't.
Yes, we can.
You just
If we got rid of Julius Randle, we can give Randle's money to Mikal Bridges and move.
But they're not. Why would the Nets want to give? Why would the Nets want Randle over Bridges? First off,
bring in a third team. Look, here's what it comes down to.
It's not making. That shoot for a star is. That's exactly
it makes
what
plenty
it
of sense, and I'm gonna tell you why. It makes plenty of sense, and I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, the Nets are going nowhere, and the Knicks competed for a championship. Second of all, he has his core group, La Cosa Nova, in New York. Why would I want to play with a bunch of me first, selfish, play for 5 coaches
You're talking about this coach. Y'all didn't get out of the division round, so like puffing up your chest, La Cosa Nova. Yeah, but y'all didn't get out of the first. Y'all didn't get out of the round.
Yeah, and we had 8 players injured. Okay,
All right.
so
No excuses.
yeah, no excuses. But if I'm Mikal Bridges,
If you had so many players injured, I think that's a common scenario for a Tom Thibodeau coach team.
All right, and again, the easy, slanderousness of my coach. No.
Hey,
right?
it's just I'm just stating facts. But nobody got injured walking down the street, Andre. I'm just stating facts.
Right. Okay, Tom Thibodeau and these guys are injured and so on and forth. All right, keep that same energy. Right, Julius Randle was healthy the last 2 playoff runs. I'm not anti-Randle. I'm pro Mikal Bridges. And what I want from Julius Randle is a firm commitment to this New York Knicks team, this New York Knicks culture. And again, Julius Randle.
I'll tell you this. Julius Randle will be definitely wearing a Knicks uniform next year.
All right. I have no issue with that. But what I'm saying is Celtics had a good team last year with Robert Williams and Malcolm Brogdon. They had a good team. They weren't satisfied with good.
I liked Malcolm Brogdon. I don't think Malcolm Brogdon was enough.
Okay.
Malcolm Brogdon and
Brad Stevens
Malcolm
traded in a very good for great. If Julius Randle comes back, I would go get Mikal Bridges and get rid of OG. We got to get Bridges. Period.
How are they going to? They're not going to trade OG. They're not going to do it, man.
They're not going to trade OG. First of all, we will trade OG tomorrow.
Yeah, obviously. Why would the Nets do that?
Third team. Bring in a third team. Make the money work. The Knicks have 1 million draft picks. We got to get Mikal Bridges. The dream scenario is we bring in Mikal Bridges. We keep Julius Randle. OG, I'm sorry. It was good for, a hot minute. But this is a business. And you're injury prone.
Well, the record with OG in the lineup was like 21, and I don't even know what it was. It's good though.
It was a good record. So Mikal Bridges wouldn't match that record.
I don't know. That's the unknown, Andre.
OG is better than Mikal Bridges.
No.
All right. And OG is as healthy as
But
Mikal Bridges.
we could talk about star ratings on 2K. It's not gonna. We're talking franchise players here.
Devin Booker wants to come to New York. That's nice. No, thank you. No, thank you. Kevin Durant, I think he goes to OKC. Kevin Durant's unique. Kevin Durant's interesting. That's interesting because Kevin Durant is not injury prone. He's old, but he's not injury prone.
So if Kevin Durant goes to OKC, then see you later, Denver.
Fine. This whole first of all, Devin Booker is not. The Suns aren't trading Devin Booker, so that's just one. The Suns aren't giving up their franchise player, so he's angry. They brought in Coach Bud. They're going to have to.
That's what I'm trying to say.
They're not trading Devin Booker. But the Suns are competing for – what are the Nets competing for? They're going to be in the lottery next year again. They're not going anywhere.
So they don't – that doesn't mean they just trade their franchise player, Andre. What are you talking about?
We can make
they're not in the Raptors situation.
They're pretty close.
Yeah, well, they're not, though. The Raptors went complete rebuild.
Yeah, and the Raptors have Scotty Barnes.
And if the Nets go complete rebuild, who's it going to be around? Bridges. Why? You know what I'm saying? They're trying to get off of the Ben Simmons contract.
They're on Bridges if Bridges wants to be there.
He
I don't
does
think he
want to
wants
be
to be
there.
there. No, he does not want to be. That's crazy. You gonna tell me Mikal Bridges wants to be 5 feet away from all of his homeboys competing for a championship? No.
Andre, he's making millions of dollars. I don't think
Okay.
Mikal Bridges says anything about being in one. He loved playing in Phoenix when they sucked.
Okay, we're gonna have to agree to disagree. This whole narrative, and as a Knicks fan, I'm glad. Push back, stick to your guns. But you're gonna tell me if I'm somebody and all of my friends are right down the street playing on a team competing for a championship in a larger market.
In an Eastern, and I mean a larger market. You both are. You live in the same city. Larger market. You know what? It's funny because if the Nets were okay,
So the Clippers are the Clippers are as big a brand as the Lakers.
no.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, of course they're in the same city, and of course Brooklyn's probably larger than Manhattan. I don't think that's debatable. My point
They just
is,
got
Knicks
into
are
the
Knicks.
city within 5. Hasn't even been 10 years.
New York is a better fit for Mikal Bridges than Brooklyn.
All right, well, I'm
If
just telling
anybody's
you.
pushing
It's
back,
not. I'm just telling you right now. Coming from the Nets ownership, it's never going to happen. They're
coming
holding
from
on
the
to
Knicks
him.
ownership, what
All
I'm
right.
telling you is
Well,
we'll make them
all
an
right.
offer they can't refuse.
Because you see,
We're going to make them an offer they can't refuse.
you're crazy. All right, next subject.
The Knicks have to get Mikal Bridges.
Next subject.
It's possible. It's right there. We can do this. We can move some pieces around. Whoever has to be moved around can be moved around. We saw it would happen this year. Guess what, folks? You know what there's a high likelihood of next year? OG Anunoby being hurt. He gets hurt. He can't play a full season. So whether that's sitting in the regular
So
season
you just got him. You just got him. So and you just paid him. So I don't think you understand. Yeah, he could get traded, but he just got there. So why would you get him, trade for him, then trade him immediately after you get him? It's not happening.
Why would the Celtics get Malcolm Brogdon and then trade him immediately?
Because Malcolm Brogdon did not fit. Malcolm Brogdon was not a. First off, I think Malcolm Brogdon was a whole. I want to be playing more. I want a bigger role. And no, for what? That's why you're in Portland with the same role, a far less role than you had.
Malcolm Brogdon fit fine for the 1 year. Had the Celtics broken through and gone to the finals, they could have won it. All the rest of that stuff. If it's were fifth, my point with the Knicks and the same thing. You trade good for great. OG with the Knicks, we're very good. With Mikal, we're great.
Okay, so you can say that, but the same thing with OKC. The OKC is good with Kevin Durant. They're amazing.
All right, but it's different narratives in that, well,
they have a better chance. OKC has a better chance of getting Kevin Durant than the Knicks do with Mikal Bridges. So, if you want to talk about something, let's talk about that.
I think there's an equivalency. Kevin Durant will let you know when he's up. Kevin Durant will let you know when he's upset. Mikal Bridges is going to be a good soldier, but I guarantee you, behind the scenes, these conversations are taking place.
No.
Outwardly, he's going to be a good soldier.
These scenes are not having. All right, I've already. We can speculate all day, but like we said,
all right,
the Thunder have a better chance of getting Kevin Durant than.
Okay.
Mikal Bridges going to the Nets.
We're going to have to agree to disagree there. I'm saying off-season, all the speculation, all the hype, I'm for it, and how we can get the team better. What makes this team better is more La Cosa Nova, more continuity, more team-first guys. I'm not saying OG and Julius, they're here. It's only been a half a year. We have to give it time to work. I get all of that. And I don't want to be alarmist. But there's no better fit for this New York Knicks.
You sound like an alarmist.
No, I sound like a realist.
I don't even think he hasn't even been. OG hasn't even been there for a full season.
There is no
Just
better
got
fit
you
for the New
just
York Knicks
he literally
than Mikal
just got
Bridges.
OG not even
Mikal
45 games
Bridges
ago.
is the best
And then
player
why'd you go get OJ? Why'd you go get OG?
for this team
All right.
because we couldn't get Mikal Bridges at the deadline. That's why we got OG.
Because you're not going because he's not available, Andre.
Mikal Bridges.
You know there's players that are not available, that are not available for trade.
Yeah.
I feel like Mikal
Yeah,
Bridges is one of
Drew
them.
Holiday was not available for trade until he was traded.
No, he wasn't. That's not true at all, actually.
Okay, he was not available until he was traded.
No, that's not true at
So
all.
we'll know when we know. We'll know when
Drew
we
Holiday
know.
was available.
All right, yeah, he was available when Giannis kicked his behind out. So there's nobody that's not
And,
available.
who's kicking? Who's kicking? He's their franchise player. Who's kicking him out?
The Nets are chips.
The Nets are chips. So the Nets aren't boneheads. They're not gonna trade their franchise player for two role
Yeah, and
players.
by the way, yeah, no, they'll trade Mikal Bridges, okay, because they're interested in Cooper Flag. Yeah, I said it. All right, there's ways.
Yeah, well, guess what? Hey, guess what? You want to know? You want to know what tanking does for you this year? What pick did the Detroit Pistons get?
They can get the 15th pick for all I care. All right.
Yeah. All right. So
Detroit
that whole
Pistons
Cooper Flag thing, I don't want to hear.
No, it's not tanking. It's you trade for draft picks. You get picks.
But you got to understand.
For bad teams.
No team is gonna trade multiple first round picks for Cooper Flag. You understand that, right? That pick is not getting traded. It's kind of like the Victor Wembanyama. It's not going to get traded.
Point taken.
There's no chance. You can offer probably 5 or 6 first rounders. Because look at it. This year's first rounder or next year's first round, it's going to be crazy. Ace Bailey, Cooper Flag. This year they're saying the draft ceiling is Tobias Harris. That's what they said. This year it's taking Tobias Harris number 1.
Yeah, we'll see. They got these kids, the Frenchmen and the young kids from Kentucky who are going to take some time. We'll see. Look, folks, bottom line is this, my New York Knicks. This is a tough loss. I don't care about the historic night from the Pacers. I tip my hat to them. I don't want to hear about, the tip slanderers. You couldn't wait. You jumped on the bandwagon for a hot second. Now you're back off the bandwagon with your same old takes. It means nothing to me. The Knicks just flat out laid an egg today, period. Laid an egg. It was there for the taking. Madison Square Garden, the whole city was behind them. All this foolishness about usage and tires. How do people finish marathons? How do people set records in marathons? All right? You have an entire city cheering you on. That's how you do it, along with your training and preparation. There is a communal aspect that takes you to another level. That's what the Knicks had today, and it was squandered. All right, and it was used against him. The home court advantage was used against this Knicks team, and they started to feel the silence, the pressure, the butterflies, the second guessing, whatever you want to call it. That's what happened tonight. More so than any injury or hurt, or you hurt my feelings, or any other nonsense. That was the Jalen Brunson injury. He hit Tyrese Halliburton's knee, fractured hand. We'll see if he needs surgery or if it'll just heal on its own. Whatever, I feel for him. But he was playing poorly before that. He was out of rhythm before that. He was not locked in before that. He wasn't moving the ball enough before that. He didn't play a good game, period. Okay? And the other, I didn't like Dante DiVincenzo. I would have liked to see Dante DiVincenzo play the entire game. We were grasping at straws. You just threw Alec Burke out there because you needed offense. You could have got the same offense from Dante DiVincenzo and let him be the alpha. He could have played all 48 minutes and been fine. I didn't like him sitting for as long as he did in the second half. That would stand it. You cut it to 7 points in the third quarter with your starting 5. The Garden was ready to rise up. And then you had boneheaded play after boneheaded play. Two of them by Deuce McBride. What the heck are you doing? The turnover across the court and the freaking out of bounds. These are sophomore juvenile mistakes. Excuse me. And they happen again and again and again and again and again. That goes to what's inside. You didn't see Halliburton out there making these mistakes. You didn't see T.J. McConnell making these mistakes.
All
You
right,
didn't see
hold
Miles
up.
Turner out there making these mistakes. They were confident. They had a swagger. They had an energy. They had an enthusiasm. They had an optimism. Optimism. There was a pessimism about my New York Knicks. They were already ready to say, oh, well, they were already looking for the excuses to say, oh, it was a good season, and we got this far, and we won 50 games, and woulda, coulda, shoulda, and next year. They were not ready for prime time today. They weren't ready. Okay? So let's talk that talk as well. I tip my hat to the Pacers. Respect for Carlisle going back. Halliburton, you came out. But that's what I'm saying. The swagger that Halliburton had all game. From the shot making, but then just from the optimism and like glass is half full. The Knicks had a glass half empty mentality today, and that was a notable part of the Game 7 blowout at home. Okay? We saw what happened with Boston. They got the breaks beat off of them in a Game 7 last year at home. And, now they're the favorites to win the championship. Am I saying that? It's different. Brad Stevens had to completely rebuild the Celtics bench. He did that. Brad Stevens made a mega deal based on another piece, another situation, right? Dame forcing his way out. Dame couldn't get to Miami. He got, he had to end up going where he landed. And he's not happy there, which most people will concede. But that allowed that domino falling in that way, right? If Dame goes to Miami, we don't get Drew Holiday. If Dame goes to, if they trade him to Detroit, well, they wouldn't trade him. You know what I mean? So the Celtics kind of lucked into Drew Holiday. But the Knicks, this offseason, they have to. And, bro, I don't know if you're out of here or not. Muted himself. I'm not sure. We're winding down. I don't know if you can hear me, if you cannot hear me, but his screen is frozen on this Knicks diatribe. Okay, we're about an hour. I'm going to go for an hour 20 on this check-in. Past midnight on the East Coast. Don't care. It was a crazy is the wrong word. That's a generic term. Historic. It's been a historic night of Game 7s. There's no two ways about that. It's been historic. On the Knicks side, in terms of a dud. Welcome back, bro. I'm winding up the show. We'll get you in for some last takes in terms of what you have, and you can say what you need to say.
So we had a big win today. I would say for the Twitch channel.
Big win for the Twitch. Tell the people about it.
I beat the 26th player in.
Bro's screen's frozen. He's gonna give you a little bit more about
the world.
Okay, go ahead.
Made a nice. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go from the top. Go from the top.
I beat the number 25th Madden player in the world. He has. I can tell you how many wins he has. Hold on, let me pull it up. So he has over 1,000 wins. I can give you the exact number in just a moment as it loads up. So he has 2,425 wins.
That's quite a few wins.
Yes. To my 406 wins. So whooped him up. I was the Bucks, of course. He was the Cowboys. battle-tested game. Pretty easy win, I would say. Yeah, two interceptions. So if you ever want to see me in Madden, the
Where
name
can the
is
people
D King
find you?
1011. D King
DK.
1011,
Yep.
and the Twitch handle is D King 85. And I play Madden 2K, FC, Grand Theft Auto.
D King 1011.
Yeah, that's my gamer tag on Xbox.
You took down the number 28 Madden player on the planet.
25
25th rated Madden player on the planet.
on the planet.
2,500 Madden wins, but not against DK 1011 today.
No, 0 against the champ.
0.
There's a new sheriff
1-0.
in town.
New sheriff in town, folks. Check him out on the Twitch. I get on there and jump in the comments. As you can tell, I have a couple things to say. Hopefully, some of them more than not make sense. Tough day for my New York Knicks. Very tough day for my New York Knicks, folks. I wanted to wear this shirt on Thursday at the Garden. I was looking forward to it. I was pumped to be in B-Town. Did I think we were going to win the series? No. But we were going to get to that series. I'm hurt. But to the victor go to spoils. We tip our hats to the Indiana Pacers. They balled out. Historic game. Shooting 67%. Scored 130 points. It was, we're going to on and on with the adjectives. And just a tremendous amount of respect for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Picked them to win the series. I jumped off the bandwagon. Would not put down any shekels or would not, my heart was with them because I picked them, but I thought Denver was going to handle it. And that looked correct to me, you, and everybody, with Denver being up 20 in the third quarter and defending champions. And it was just a tsunami. So tremendous amount of respect for Minnesota. It's a great team. It's a great story. Ant-Man going to be the face of the league. Cat, Pride of New Jersey. Don Bosco, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, respect on his name, multiple defensive player of the year, Hall of Fame track. And then Denver, respect to what you did, what you built as a true champion. Bro, thank you so much for being here.
Bro.
The Knicks are here. The Celtics are there. And we will get back at you. We'll see Monday, Tuesday, when we're going to jump back on. But SandCity Sports, we are here. And just in conclusion, we are collaborating. The newest episode will be in conjunction with Fluent Sports. So we have a producer for our shows. So you have on the YouTube, but we have another platform that SandCity Sports is on. Fluent Sports. Check them out. Like, comment, subscribe, all the rest of that stuff. And as we say, we will see you next time, bro. I really appreciate you being here. I'll be in touch, homie. Peace.
All right, my boy. Peace, my bro.
See ya.